previous generation Huskies, quality was an issue. It didn't feel like premium motorcycles.
So
They genuinely didn't. I mean, in Europe,
no, no, no. I
these are
agree with you.
priced above.
No, I agree with you, and I think some of the same problems carry over, and it's actually a styling issue more than a quality issue now. Okay, so when you touch and feel these new Husqvarnas, there's no reason why you'd think this is a poor quality motorcycle. There's only one real panel gap to talk about, and which is at the top of the tank. The white panel comes and meets a black panel. Where it meets, that edge is not clear. There's a big hole in the middle. It's the only place where you can say, "Oh, that is terrible," right? But these motorcycles are messy motorcycles underneath the skin. There's a lot of wiring, there's a lot of electronics. The airbox is in one place and the hose travels down the side of the engine. It's messy, right? But the Duke has so much bodywork that a lot of this mess is not visible to you when you normally see the motorcycle. The Husqvarna is effectively wearing a one-piece bikini, man. So you see everything. So on both sides of the motorcycle, you can see the wire snaking around and you can see that tube on the other side, and it does look a little bit messy. So if it's parked inside our office where the lights are a little bit dim, it doesn't look too bad. But you take it out into the natural light and suddenly all of that wiring catches light and you're like, whoa, that's a lot of wiring. Better finish than before? Yes. Better quality than before? Yes. But is it the quality level that you'd immediately look at the Duke and say this is good quality? Unfortunately, no. It does look messier.
Okay, no, you're saying the quality has improved?
Yeah.
But you're still saying the quality is not as good as the Duke?
It can't be, no, because all the mess is exposed.
That's a different...
See, imagine if your stomach, I love doing this term, imagine if your stomach didn't have skin. Now you'd see everything inside. It doesn't mean that functionally there is a difference.
This is as good as abuse, you know.
It doesn't mean that functionally there is a difference. But if you can see your internals, that is not so pretty anymore, right? That's sort of like the issue. Oh, I love doing that.
What I mean is, does it have six-pack abs now? Is it?
Yeah. Look, they have, in the transition from the old 250 to the new Vitpilen, they have made 2 or 3 significant changes. First, we had a complaint that the bikes were just so small. Fixed. This bike is, Bajaj put a number to it, it's 20% larger. Okay, and therefore everything feels more substantial to the point where I think now they are the right size. Are they too big? No. Will you think you're riding a really large machine? No, it still feels compact, but not compact in an unpremium way. It's premium and compact, both. Great, sorted. In the process, that 9.5 liter fuel tank, which is just, honestly, it's just stupid, is now 13.5 liters. And it's stupid because basically it means you'll constantly be filling up fuel.
13.5? That's a big step up.
Yeah, but the Dukes get 15-liter tanks now. And remember what we said about fuel tanks getting larger. As ethanol quantities start to increase, the amount of liquid that you need to carry will increase for the same range. Fuel tanks are about to grow larger everywhere. Okay, if the 1300 GS was being prepared for ethanol properly, the Adventure would not have a 30-liter tank, it should probably have a 35-liter tank. Anyway, so 13.5 liter tank also means that you can now imagine that if you were to take a Vitpilen and have to go on a highway trip somewhere, yeah, you have the range to do it. Whereas on the 9.5 liter tank, imagine it, man, you'd run 7 liters of fuel, which is say 210 kilometers maximum, assuming you're getting a steady 30. You have to stop for gas. And then you do this again, 200 kilometers, then you have to stop for gas again. And you don't have a choice about it. You have to stop like this.
Yeah.
Right? When the old KTM Duke 390s had the 10.5 liter tank, all of us did 180, 190 kilometers and we'd have to keep stopping for gas. Yeah. And it was very, very annoying to have stops that quickly next to each other. That's one thing that's solved. Because the bike is larger, they've used that size to create a much larger seat than before. So the seat is substantially larger. So where I like to say that the old Vitpilen, it used to feel like the pillion is your backpack. Right? No longer. It feels like there is enough space for 2. It's a spacious 2-person seat, no problem.
2 adults can be managed?
Easily. Easily. And if you notice the seat, you will also see the aerodynamic spoiler at the back, which is Marty Hoffin's contribution to its downforce. It does nothing, but it just looks ugly. If this was my bike, that thing would be removed on day 1.
Is the MotoGP bike style, no?
I don't know why it is so large. It makes no sense that the spoiler is that large. The grab rail is so large. Please excuse my intermixing the words. And in the process, because remember the Duke 390 platform is squished in the middle now, so you get more ground clearance and lower seat height. That's what this thing also gets. So you have reasonable ground clearance and 820 mm. And this bike is really quite narrow where your legs are when you put your feet down. So a lot of riders are actually going to think it's even lower than 820 mm in feel.
That's great.
Yeah. So the old Husqvarnas, the biggest problem was they were so tall. They were 840 mm seats, right? They were so tall that a lot of people said, we cannot even think about riding this. Solved. You will be able to sit on it, ride it, and the seat is comfortable to boot, which means ergonomically, it's a much better place.
Even for taller riders?
Even for taller riders. I'm 6 foot tall.
Because it's all, it seems like all edges and protrusions.
Yeah, but
and
it's
all
all
of that.
over your knees. Your knees go under the protrusion, so it doesn't actually get in your way. I'm imagining that you would have to be something really tall, like 6'7", 6'8", something like that, so that you're moving back in the seat and you can't angle your knees downward, where the protrusion will actually come and hit you.
In that case, the bike is not the problem.
In which case you should be looking at ADVs as a default anyway, because they are the largest. So to me, at 6 foot, I didn't have an issue at all. The protrusion stayed very, very nicely above my knees. When I wanted to corner it, they held my knees in place a little bit too.
Nice.
So I think this time they've got all of these parts of it right. And I must appreciate the white paint on this bike. It's a frost white. It looks brilliant. And they've got one clean line of fluorescent green running across it. I think it looks smashing. If I bought a Svartpilen 401, I'd want this bodywork on that bike. Yes, I know, white, black, I get it, but I really think the white color looks really, really good.
Yes, we love talking about new cars and bikes. And we have spoken a lot. You can find many more such videos on the main MotorInc channel. Do remember to like, share, and subscribe.